There we go. Let's get some tunes going. Hey, Lotus. You take your time. It's all fine. I'm just starting up, so. Getting stuff ready. That's why I'm on just chatting and not like doing any coding stuff. There you go. Just enjoying the tunes for now, right? Hope they're not too loud, though. Still halfway finishing up some other work stuff. So I'm gonna be on just chatting for a while because I can't show any of this to you guys. Which is, I mean, fine. We can just be in just chatting, I guess. $2 million. I don't know, dude. I don't do cloud code. I don't do vibe coding. I have no AI code. Well, that's not true. I've used Copilot, but I don't use. I'm just. I guess I'm old. I've tried dabbling with AI and stuff and letting it cook for me, but it's rough, man. I don't think it's it's there yet. I tried to make Cursor build a simple to-do app, and it even failed doing that. So I don't know how these people do it. I'm not the correct one to be asking how to get AI to do stuff for you. I actually disabled all the AI stuff in my workflow recently. Because it just doesn't really seem to be helping out the way I hope it would, right? Which I guess is fine, but it's thank you for the sub, by the way. Much appreciated. Oh, you get a doggo. You got so many ads? Really? How many ads did you get? Let me figure this out, because it might be that the settings are off. Because I didn't do anything. No, true. But I mean, I didn't do anything to the ads. So Twitch, it's just the default Twitch settings. I haven't. Let me take a look at it, because they might be too oppressive, right? Thank you very much for the subbing. Honestly, really appreciate it. But let me see what Twitch thinks default ads should be on. So it might be too aggressive for most people, right? I never looked at it at all. How many minutes of video ads do you want to run per hour? 3 minutes. Yeah. Well, it should be like 3 minutes per hour. So it's just the default Twitch schedule. No pre-rolls. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Okay, so for vibe coding, I don't do vibe coding. I tried getting Cursor to create a to-do list, and it failed at it. Right? I also disabled Copilot in my workflow. We can go here, right? So in my can't type today. In my tools, in my NeoVim, my editor, right? I have AI, I have Copilot, but it's not enabled. I got rid of all the AI assisted stuff, because it's like, if you're failing to create a simple to-do app, I'm pretty sure you're not gonna be able to help me solve other stuff, right? I don't know why this is here. Yeah, like, I like it for text, and like it's probably a better Google than Google, if that makes sense. Like it actually really when you're trying to search for stuff, it actually has a better explanation. Like if you go, when did this happen, or who's the lead character in blah blah blah. That actually works for AI. But coding, I'm not convinced at all that it's a net positive. Also, I read a study the other day. I'm gonna turn down the music a bit because it's really loud for me. I hope you guys can still hear it. I read a study the other day. I think we even mentioned it on stream. Let me go find it. Free doggo. Also, you got, now you're subbed, you get the doggo mode. Right, here we go. So I read this one, and this I think this might be true. Right? Get these ads out of here. Let's get to the study itself, right? This might be really technical, but well, we'll get through it, I guess, if you really want to. So I think this is true. Because you're not invested in actually writing it, right? You're not investing in actually understanding what you're doing. You're just going... It's like copy-pasting from Stack Overflow, right? Back in the day. Like people... If you ever saw a code base with... that was only created by junior developers that just went to Stack Overflow for every problem and just copy-pasted whatever they did until it somehow kind of sort of worked. Those code bases are horrible. And I feel like that's what ChatGPT is also doing, right? Or Copilot or Claude or whatever the heck you're trying to get into, whichever model you use. This is not for coding only. This is also for writing texts, writing articles, rewriting an essay using AI tools after prior AI free writing. Engage more extensive brain network interactions. Like you're actually losing brain connections, like the synapses and the connections your brain makes to remember stuff. You're actually diminishing them by using LLMs, which is crazy to me, right? So our brains actually need to read and need to understand and need to think it through to actually not lose their power. It's like a muscle that you need to exercise, right? So by doing everything AI... Yes, exactly. I noticed that as well. And there's some videos on YouTube where they go into like... It's stories, and they're somewhat kind of interesting, but then you realize it's AI, and you're like, nah, it's all the same, right? It's terrible. But this research... Let's get to the conclusion section. That's the most important. Like, we could do the entire 206 pages, but I'm not gonna subject you guys to that. So the LLM underline we reduce the friction involved. Right? In answering participants' questions compared to search engine. So I do think it's a better search. AI is a better search engine, if that makes sense. Yeah, but the cognitive cost diminishes inclination to critically evaluate the LLM's output or opinions. Yep. Yay, it's a dog. She just moved from there to there because that's where my feet are, so she's... Yeah. Well, I'm glad you like them. Because I had some of them lined up, and as soon as we hit affiliate, I just went... We have more, but we don't have enough slots yet to get them. I mean, and she's our mascot, right? She's our little lady here. But yeah, I totally understand this one. So, however, this convenience came at the cognitive cost, diminishing users' inclination to critically evaluate the LLM's output or opinions. Answers based on the training data sets. The highlights occurring and concerning evolution of echo chamber effect. Yes, this makes total sense, right? So if you just always believe the LLM, no matter what, so it must be right, then your brain's gonna atrophy, basically. Yeah, not even getting into the ethical considerations of this entire thing, which is even probably worse, right? Yeah, gonna adjust the AC a bit because it got a bit chilly sitting right beneath it. So, regarding ethical considerations, participants who were in the brain-only group reported higher satisfaction and demonstrated higher brain connectivity compared to the other groups. So, when you don't use the LLM, you just use your brain, you're actually smarter. You're getting smarter. Who would have thought when an AI doesn't regurgitate everything for you, you're actually smarter. Like, right? So no, I back to the subject, right? I don't do. I've removed all the LLM stuff from my. There's nothing. I don't do. There's some. I liked Copilot and other models for like boilerplating, where just give me the HTML and I don't really care about how it looks, stuff like that. That's fine. But when you're actually doing logic, I don't think it's it's neither there yet, or you're introducing bugs that you're not smart enough to notice that you're introducing, right? Because you're not actually thinking through what it's doing. You're just, oh, this kind of works, sure, and you paste it in and go on with your merry day, right? So human teachers close the loop by detecting the LLM's generated essays as they recognize the conventional structure and homogeneity, what a word, of the delivered points for each essay within the topic and group. Yeah, you can definitely tell. Same to your point with new fiction and authors using AI. You can tell when they're using AI because it all turns into the same generic slop, right? But yeah, this study, and I'll link it for you guys so you can read it in chat as well. This study was really interesting. There you go. So if you're into this kind of stuff, like it gets really technical, right? As you can see, like it gets really freaking technical. But I've read this thing and I thought this was really interesting. So even, I mean, okay, let us zoom in a bit on this, right? So even brain only and search engine, right? These are the areas of the brain that, right? Even using the search engine is way more satisfying than using the LLM. Because like here you actually have to do the work. It's like going to the library and researching stuff and reading articles and being like involved, right? It's really interesting. Interesting article. I would recommend reading the entire thing, but I can understand that it's a bit of a big one for most people, right? And it's a lot of technical jargon and stuff. Speaking of LLMs, I was trying to make something with an LLM, something that I think that might actually be useful. So I have this little command here in Laravel where I go to this site, which has like articles, which has new articles and past articles and top articles and stuff like that. And what I actually want to do is I can hit the API here. We built that. I improved it a tiny bit off stream, but we could get the top 5 articles, right? Scrape the API. And what I actually want to do for this is feed those articles like the I don't really care about the title. I do care about the type because it needs to be a story, but so there's a couple of things, right? You have a title and a URL. Let's go here for a sec. So we have a title and a URL. I want to feed the title. Nah, I think I only want to feed the URL to an LLM to say read the article underneath this URL and give me a summary in a specific style. Which I think LLMs might be best suited for this kind of work, right? Where you just give them a giant swath of text and you say, can you summarize this for me in X amount of characters or less using this style? And then you're still consuming the article, you're still reading it yourself, but you're right. And the entire point of this is that I want to curate, get some news stories that are bite-sized for me and other people. Like I don't want to be sitting there reading. Like if you go to this, like these articles. If I go here, oh, just thinking about what I would want to do. This is just a repo, but if we get a... I'm not sure if I can get the stories here. This one. Sailing the fjords like the Vikings yields unexpected insights. So if I go to this story, right? Okay. This is a long read. I don't want to sit here and read this article and then move on to the next one and read the why is the Rust compiler so slow, which might be interesting, right? But this is a lot of reading. Look at this. So what I actually want to build, because this is in our website, right? Nope. By the way, if you didn't know that, if you're in Chrome and you get the privacy... Oh, I'm just not typing correctly. Sorry. If you're in Chrome and you get this notice because the HTTPS certificate isn't valid, because it's obviously not, because I'm on localhost, you can actually type, "This is unsafe," all lowercase, all together, no spaces, and it will be the same as going to clicking on advanced and accepting the thing. Oh, we're on A2 to rebuild our Docker images. So what I wanted to do with this is get the hey Ergo, get the articles, get an LLM to summarize them for me, so they're like 10-minute reads max. Yeah, you just go, "This is unsafe," right? And it's the same as I don't want to click, right? That's the reason why I'm using, if you do exclamation mark keyboard. So I had some RSI issues. We can do... I'm using the Ergodox here, and for my mouse, if I do have the mouse, I'm using a trackball, right? So I don't want to... My entire workflow, like even if you... When you guys see this, right? Like this is all keyboard. This is all terminal, this is all Vim. That's why I use NeoVim. Because I don't want to leave the keyboard. Right? This is all keyboard. I'm not touching the mouse. And the only way I'm touching the mouse is when I'm going to the web and scrolling, and then you see the mouse cursor. Right? So, with that being said, I wanted a way to not have to go click, accept, that. But it works in Chrome. I think it also works in Firefox, I want to say. Let's see. Yep. Bypasses the security warnings. Keep in mind that you should only do this on websites that you actually do trust, right? Oh, I don't know. I haven't thought about that one. How you can turn the summary into a SaaS. I haven't thought about that one. I just wanted, like, I like getting up, and I have, like, when I get up in the morning, I have a bunch of stuff to do, and people I need to take to school, and a dog that needs to walk, and all that. And I actually want to keep up on news, right? But I don't have, like, infinite time to go through all these. Oh, by the way, Typer. I also use this one, Typer. It's really cool. I don't have the time to actually read all of this. So if I could get, like, the top stories, what I'm doing now in the, over here, is I'm getting the top 10, I think. Yeah, top 10. So these are just news, but I think I can do top as well. And it will. Oh. I think it's the news story sorted by. Let's see what it actually gives us. XMLT, parameterized types in C. I switched from Flutter and Rust to Rust and yep. Okay, so I want to keep up with these stories, right? But I don't want to read them. Well, maybe I want to read them, but I first want to get a small little digestible bit of what they're about. And if they're interesting, I want to read the entire thing. So the thing what I'm trying to build, if not just for myself, then, you know, whatever, is get all the stories, get an LLM to summarize them, and display those on our website. On our header, just tech news or news from the industry, with a link back to the original article. I have no idea yet. We're figuring this out as we go. So I knew I wanted to get the Hacker News stories, so I got that. Next up would be, I think, passing this to an LLM, figuring out which one we're going to use. And then, you know, figure that out. I'm not even sure what I'm going to do with the data I'm getting, because I'm getting the data, right? So we're getting this. The ID, the title, the type, the score. And score matters because score is a community thing on Hacker News. So if people upvote, the points go up. So if I have an account, I can log in. And I can upvote. So upvoting is the score. The score is the amount of upvotes thing has. So that might be useful to sort stories by upvotes? I don't know. Let's see. If you look at the API docs. Yes, I am. Eventually it's going to be there. Yes. If you look at the API points, you can also do like this. You could get one story. So you could get the story itself. You could do all the questions they have. So there's a question, there's an ask, right? Where people ask questions. Strategy or just a dream, where you get, like, it's on the site. It's not an external URL, it's on the site. There's actually discussions on the site where people can leave comments and stuff. So we could also do something with those. You have job postings. There's polls that they do. There's a lot of stuff that they're actually exposing. And this is the official Hacker News API we're using, right? So I've just figured out I want the top stories and this is what I want to do. What I'm going to save and which database and how we're going to store it. I haven't figured that out. But that's why we're streaming, right? We're just figuring this out as we go. Just basically doing some sort of product development during stream. Because it's something I want, right? I think the best ideas start from, this is something I want to have. So we start building it, and then we notice then other people also want to have it. So then we expose it to the world, and that's how stuff happens, right? It's very, there's no, I'm not doing this for a focus group or with the idea of turning it into a SaaS or turning it into anything. This is just something I want to have, and if other people also want to have it, well, we can figure that out, right? Yes, exactly. So if nobody else wants it, then it's just for me. Yeah. So there's also it's the investment in it, right? Like I'm just doing this because I want to figure out if I can do this and if this is actually useful for me. And then if people like it, well, you know. Like there's no way we're monetizing this, right? Because we're scraping free articles already on the web. So it would feel very scummy to put any type of paywall around this. If the only thing we get out of it is just exposure, that we're the ones doing it and everybody comes to our website, well, that's good enough, right? But there's no monetary gain for building this. That makes sense. I will feel bad if I scrape articles and content that people put out there for free and I grab it and say, nah, if you want to watch it here, you have to pay. Like that feels scummy as all heck. I'm not doing that. Alright. Yeah, true. Like the tool itself, but since it's in our website, it's kind of hard to extrapolate the tool right now, right? Because But yeah, I could definitely see a general summarizing tool for any news website or something. Yeah, for sure. But then you have the same issue, right? Like if you're scraping free content, I don't feel like you should be asking money for free content. But then you still have the operational cost of dealing with the summary and the LLM. So it's a weird can of worms that I'm not really trying to think about. I'm just coding this because I find this is interesting and want to see if this actually works and is something that's useful, right? Oh, like that. Yeah, no, that could work. But then again, the quandary is monetization is icky. Because we as a company, Cerberos, we also do ethical hacking, like we do cybersecurity. So ethics and privacy are very big on our list of things we really strive for. So I will feel really bad if I just enabled somebody to steal somebody's content without like the correct. That's why I'm grabbing. If you look at not that one, this one. If you look at what we're grabbing, I'm also grabbing the URL and the original author, right? Because when I'm displaying this, I'm gonna display the original author as the guy the person that made the article, and the URL is gonna be the link back to their article. I'm just gonna point that this is just a summary of this guy's work, which is, you know, I feel like the correct way to do it. Also, this could probably be better because we're only... Yeah, true. But it just gets unethical when I go, I'm scraping it for my personal enjoyment. I want the summary. You guys want it too. So if you want the summary as well, you're gonna have to pay me for it. That's where I'm like icky on the ethics, right? Because if I'm scraping free content, you should get it for free as well, because I'm actually not doing anything to generate the content. But then again, the other side of that story is you have operational costs for the scraping and for the LLM and for this. So I'm not too sure. I just want to build this because I want the articles. That's why I said I have no idea about. And for now, like the Hacker News API is free. I want to see if I can get a model that's free, or at least, you know, something that we don't have to pay for. Going back to this command, I feel like this. I'm still thinking about the structure of this, right? Because we could have get the top news, get the new. There's three different varieties. There's let's take a look at the. So we have. I don't care about comments. I don't care about single stories because that's another. Asks might be a thing. Jobs, I don't care about jobs. We're not a job posting site, so I'm ignoring jobs. Polls, and then... So you have the new, top, and best stories. Those are the three. So we could create commands for... We now have just the top stories, because those are the ones the community has rated as these are the best. Which I feel like is a great starting point, right? We could create three commands. One where I'm also not sure what top and best, what the difference is between these two, so we need to figure that one out. But we could create three commands, or we could create one command that gets either new, top, or best, depending on what we pass it to. But that last would make this kind of complex, also complex in testing. So I'm not really a fan of that. And with this way of doing it, we could also schedule, have different schedules of when we poll for tops, when we poll for news. Like I think like the top stories will be a daily thing, like get all today's top stories, and news will be like an hourly thing, like this new this hour. Like that's different different schedules in when you want those stories. So I feel like getting this as different commands is probably the best way to go. Probably. Also for today, I know I started early. We're gonna go I think 2 hours now, and then I'm gonna go walk the dog, and then come back, and I'm gonna do another stream. So it's 2 streams today. So I'm gonna be gone for like an hour, and I don't want to leave the stream like idling for an hour. That's bad sport, I think. So we'll just get that. Now we should be at 8.3. 8.3. There you go. So it's gonna be somewhere over here, right? Just a menu item with industry news, and we're gonna just put it there, I think. All right. Let's see how the tests are holding up. Like, we should have less than 100% because we aren't testing the entire Hacker News command, so it should fail because our standard is 100% test coverage. So it should be failing, but it should be failing and at the expected spot, right? This is a type coverage. Type coverage should still be at 100%. Also, this playlist is cool. I just swapped to a more royalty-free rocky playlist. Actually, cool songs so far. So this should not fail, but it should not pass. Yeah, right. Because we did believe, because this one is 81% covered and not 100% covered. So this is exactly what I was expecting. Let's fix that. The testing, and then create commands for the news and the best stories, and we'll go from there, I guess, for now. And then this afternoon when I'm back, we'll figure out an LLM to pass it to or something, I guess. So while I'm dealing with the dog, I can actually think about which one we're gonna use. So how could we get this to fail? That's the... That's the big thing, right? So we need to get the... Yeah, there's no dark mode for this, man. I could turn on Dark Reader, see what that does, but... Don't have Dark Reader here? I do? I just stupid? Yeah, I am just stupid. Dark mode, yeah. Yeah, I walked into that one, Ergo. Thank you very much. Alright, I guess this is what's better for you guys, right? Yeah, this is workable. I can do dark reader here. Sure. I actually don't mind light mode. It's the biggest thing that people don't understand about light versus dark mode is that it's no. Hear me out. The issue people have with light mode is not that it's light mode. It's the contrast issue. If it's super bright, like if I go, okay, let me show you something, right? Like this, you probably think this is mega bright, which it is, right? But if I go over here and I turn on this, now all of a sudden it's not as bright. Because it's a contrast thing. I changed the contrast to be more relaxing for your eyes to read. So this is not as hard to read as having it full blown. Right. Yes. So it's a contrast issue that people have with light mode. It's not a light dark mode thing. Yeah. Okay, so we need to test what happens when we don't hit the correct. So how we could just, I don't know. How are we testing this? We could mock this, but that seems like overkill, I reckon. I'm just thinking about this for a second. So we get the limit from the command. We get this is just displaying in the console, doesn't matter. We set the base URL. Like we could overwrite the base URL, which is kind of iffy, I guess. Yeah, also I should actually get some coffee and... Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna leave you guys here for a second. I'll be right back. I have to do a pee break and I'll get some coffee. Right? I'll be right back. Okay. She realized I had snacks. Alright. Let's see her do a couple of tricks. Just. Best doggo ever. I still have another snack, but that one for later. She's really smart. She also really likes being around people. It's like everybody, if we go outside, and anybody, doesn't matter. Anybody walks up to her and wants to pet her, she's like, yeah, pet me, rub me all over, it's fine, you can... She likes belly rubs and stuff. And the second I go downstairs and sit in like the easy chair we got downstairs, she's on my lap. Even though she's 20 kilos, right? She's not a small dog, but she still thinks she's a small dog. So yeah, I mean, whatever. It's nice and cuddly, right? It's like a warm blanket. Also, yes, I have coffee. Yeah, I had a rough start this morning. Just put it like that. And I don't feel like I've woken up yet. So I'm just gonna sit here for a second. She's still here. Look, she's just sitting here expectantly. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna add something to the stream real quick. Hold on. I'm gonna let you guys. No, I wish I had a doggo cam. I only have one webcam. I should get a second one. But it's like I said, we're moving offices, so I'm working from home. And when I'm working from home, I can stream. When I'm at the office, I can't really stream. But yeah, I'm gonna add. No. I'm going to start working from home more. Because the office place we have isn't really like it's fine, but let's do it like this. There you go. You should have a new point redeem. I think we should have, right? It should be live near instantly. It's limited. It's limited. You don't get infinite snacks. Yes. Once per half hour and only 5 per stream. We don't want her getting fat. And with training dogs, right? You have to make sure that you don't give him anything for free. If she gets a treat, she has to do something, right? She has to, like we did twist just now, so she has to turn around, which is useful when you're on the street, when you're walking, and her line gets tangled, right? You can just go twist, twist, twist until her line gets untangled. So she always has to do a trick before she gets a treat, no matter what it is, right? That's part of her training, right? Also, this song is way too freaking happy for me to. And the snacks we're giving, like these are the snacks she got just now. The first one was a dental stick, which is just for her teeth, right? It's healthy for her. It cleans her. It's like brushing her teeth. And she only gets one of those per day, and like these, she gets maybe 1 or 2 a day. So we're very mindful of what we feed her. And she walks a lot. I think we do about anywhere between the 5 and 8 kilometers a day with her. I'm also hungry, so I'm eating. Got myself a snack as well. Just a biscuit, so. Also, I'm pretty sure these are not healthy, but whatever. Okay, so. These are, for the Dutchies and the Belgians, these are sultanas. So this is just a biscuit with some fruit in it. And a lot of sugar, I think. So. They're not as unhealthy as candy or something. But I'm pretty sure the sugar in it makes it not healthy. Like, not super healthy, right? This is cereal. This is not. Like, can you fuck off with your ad blocker? Let's do the Dutch article, right? Well, so they're not super healthy, but you're not gonna die from them anyway. That's basically what I'm thinking, right? So. It could be worse. All right, so Just invoking? No, come on. Well. So this only checks if the command runs, which is barely a test. This one we're gonna actually test. I think we have this should be a thing, right? Pink. Yep. There we go. So we can fake actually hitting the request, right? So we call it that, right? Yep. And then we go. You hit the top stories. Oh wait. I'm fucking this up. Needs to be in the, this is the URL we're hitting, right? Because then we can go like this. Like this and go. Response should be 200, right? Would that make sense? So another thing we gotta worry about, right? So we want to catch so this is what we want to fake, right? So we're gonna fake the top stories and we're gonna fake the items. So there, if we go to top stories or if we go to items, we're gonna get a 200 okay, right? Also, don't forget, you guys, if you have 2 points, you can give Charlie a snack because she's here. And she's slobbering on my ankles at the moment. So this should take care of the HTTP request we're doing. So now we have to go. You know the rules for moderating, right? You get to spend the points and then go into the redeem and just not redeem them. Just refund them to yourself, right? So you have infinite honey cakes basically for testing this stuff. Speaking of honey cakes, Mason still hasn't given an article. So I don't have to make an article. I don't have to do a honey cake. Speaking of Mason. Hi, Mason. Wow, can't type today. How you doing today, dude? I know today is your final day. Hold on. I know today's your final day, technically. I want to send something to you. And I want to ask if you would still won't mind taking a look at it. Mm-hmm. Sadly, it is not. That's a URL that's never getting made, man. .feed. That's a domain that's never... That... Mark. Go ahead, claim it. That's fine, go claim it. You know what I realized, by the way, Ergo? We should create a pause, waiting, AFK, getting coffee screen. Instead of me leaving it at just chatting. Which we could, but no. First, the bit badges. Bit more important. So what are we? Tiny bit more important. So let's see, we're gonna expect output to contain get more bits. No, it's gonna be... This is gonna be the output, right? I don't know. I don't know. I don't even have bits, just saying. I have 0 bits. So yeah. That's a sentence that has to respond real quick. Well, he doesn't even have 1 bit of an idea. So let's see. We need to... So we're running this command, right? We're gonna expect that the output is gonna be this. We're gonna expect output. No stories ID. No store IDs found. Does this make sense? Yeah, because it's gonna give a 200 response. Like, oh, this top part is gonna give a 200 response, so it's gonna give an OK, but it's not gonna give content, right? Because we're faking the URL. So we're gonna get an OK, so it knows it has the correct URL. It's not gonna get any story, so it. Yeah. Yeah, I think this is it. You have a group for this? We don't. It's weird that's taken. Oh. Typo. Oh. Capitalization matters, people. I have to do a customer thing real quick, so that's why I'm not talking and typing on something you guys can see. I'm sorry. Yeah, I know, right? It's almost like I still have a company to run and also do streaming. The reason I started late today, because I wanted to start at like 9. The reason I started late is because we had a production bug with the same customer. So I had to solve that first before I went live on stream. Also, Lotus, look at the point redeems. We have a new redeem. Only 5 redeems per stream. Cooldown is 30 minutes. But you'll probably like the redeem. Okay, so... yeah. Also, this is the entire thing. So I can break this up in 5 pieces. And that's her snack. She doesn't get 5 of these. She gets this in 5 pieces, right? And these are made of duck and chicken, I think. Or duck and steak. So she gets one of these divided by 5. And she has to do a trick on stream for it. She already did a trick earlier when she got a piece of the other. I'm trying to be a good dog dad, right? Okay, so I think this is the way to go, right? So we invoke the command, we give it a correct response, so it assumes it gets the correct stories, but then we feed it no stories, so it's gonna hit the failure out. Makes sense, right? So then what we need to do is it sends no. It should return the URL. It should return this URL. Oh, yeah, right. And it should not. Not send? Jesus Christ. Is this correct? I think this is correct. Because we should not see... How can we get that right? I know. So it should not return URL request URL that contains item, I guess. Since we're in an array, we need to... So then it doesn't matter if it finds... Oh, because this is wildcarded. It doesn't matter if this... Right. Oh, it's this. What's the error here? Oh. I'm just... It's Friday, people. Okay, so let's walk through this, right? We're faking hitting the actual endpoint, which does return stories when we hit it. By doing it this way, we're not hitting the API during our test runs, because every time we run our tests, we're hitting the API. When we do it like this, that doesn't happen, right? So we're not actually going... This is all in memory. This is not going to hit the endpoint, which is good. Good practice, right? You don't want to basically denial of service your API endpoint by running your tests multiple times a day. Then we're gonna hit the endpoint, run the command with the fake endpoint. It's gonna fail because we're faking the endpoint, so it's not gonna get any. It gets the 200 response, but it's not gonna get any content. So with no content, the command should fail because we have no stories found. It should return this, and it should not get any items. I think that makes sense. Right? Huh. I want to add another test. Well, thank you for the bits, Ergo. Thank you very much, my dude. But I was talking about the bit badges we have in the Discord, right? Let me grab them. I was talking about these, right? Where we talked about fixing this so like these get unreadable at smaller sample size. So we should probably, instead of going the same color, we should probably go to white, like gray, and slowly lighten them, where these end up being white, instead of doing this, right? I want to show you something. Okay, who's redeeming 200 points? Yep. There you go. And she always has to do a trick. There you go. She always has to do it, and now she's sitting there like, "Hey, more treats? I wanna play. I wanna do more tricks," and she's not getting any. So, for everybody here, I'm streaming now. I'm gonna end in like, I think 30 minutes ish. I'm gonna walk the dog. And I get back, which will be about another 30 minutes, 45 minutes after I end the stream. We're gonna go be back live again until 5 my time. Ish. Right? So you get 2 streams today. It's just gonna be interrupted because I'm not gonna let the stream idle for 45 minutes when I'm walking the dog. So I do hope you all return and come hang out. Because there's more stuff I want to do. 24-hour stream, that's my schedule doesn't allow 24-hour streams, man. We could do a walking the dog stream for sure. That will be awkward as heck because I don't have any setup to do. Like, I could do live stream from my phone, but I don't have any mic or anything, so it's gonna be. God, you guys gonna be the death of me. Anyways, what I wanna also test, right? Because we're testing now what happens when we get the entire group, right? Dox yourself and just walking and talk. Nah, I wouldn't dox myself. I would be out in nature when I do a stream like that, right? We have a giant nature reserve here nearby where we go walking with the dog all the time. And anybody that, I mean, honestly, if you go to our website, this is my company's website, right? I mean, where do you think we're located? I mean, right? It's not like I have a real company that has an address and an office building, and like you can probably figure out which part of the Netherlands I'm in and which city I'm close to, and it's not gonna be hard, right? You're not gonna find out the street I live, but you'll be able to determine. Yeah. Yes, I am from the Netherlands, Ergo. You know this. You know what's even crazier, Mason? I know of this a story of I think it's an Asian chick. I'm not really sure if it's like it's China or Korea or which part of Asia, but it's like one of like that part of Japan, where they figured out where this girl was living by the reflection in her eyeball of something that was outside. I could show you guys some OSINT stuff with, like, not in this stream, but in another stream. I could show you guys some OSINT stuff, what you can actually figure out from pictures of people and so. It's crazy. With there's a room in TryHackMe where with just a single picture you can get a person's location, his password even, like all the stuff. Yep. Yeah, probably. Theo guessing on steroids. Yeah. But honestly, in Holland you have the Chamber of Commerce or the KVK. Those motherfuckers are even more scummy because up until I want to say 5 years ago, maybe 10 max, your social security number was your company number. Your KVK number was like it had your social security number in it when you were like a ZZP'er. So think about that one. Your BSN number was just out there. A lot of companies got scammed the fuck. That's what happened. But they have like your company's registration address, like your email address. That's why when you have a company, you get cold called by energy companies and phone companies and phone providers and stuff like that. Email providers. The curtain is indeed open. Yes, it is. That's why you get cold called, because they just buy the info from the Chamber of Commerce and they just cold call the fuck out of everybody. Which is, I think that should be like there should be rules for that, but there isn't, like not really. Or it's not, if there are rules, they're not enforced, right? So, anyways, let's finish this up. Like if I can bother you enough to make you buy my product, right? So how can we do this? This content is free, so I am the product. Yes, you are. We are all the product of Amazon. I'm trying to think this through while trying to talk to you guys, which is we'll give the top stories. But Phil, that's what I want to test, right? Because what we have is if we do this, we could get IDs, but we could probably not get, like, the contents of this story could be broken for some reason, right? So it would say, well, I found this ID, but this one's broken, right? So what we have to do here... yeah, Ergo, yeah. Let me think. I think we could just pass... some article IDs to it, right? So we'll give him articles. So we're hitting... So yeah. Okay. So we're filling these. We're filling the IDs, but we're not filling the rest. We have no title, no score, no type, no author, no URL. Yeah, thank you, man. Hey, like I said, I'm gonna be back in like 1:30-ish. So in about an hour and a half, an hour and a half after I end stream in like 20 minutes. So you're more than welcome to come back. I would really appreciate it if you came back. So we're gonna provide the stories. We're gonna provide the articles, but we're not gonna provide content for the articles. So it's gonna see the articles, it's gonna loop over it and try to request the content, and then the content is not there, so it should fail, right? So this should be not a 200, but a 500, I guess you get there. And we'll get a, I assume it will just say server error, right? That makes sense. We'll throw an error there. So then we have to do this, but instead of doing this, we're gonna add the limit, and the limit is gonna be 3. What's it gonna say? So this is gonna pass. This is also gonna pass. So it's gonna say found. Yeah. Okay. So it's gonna say found 3 story these, right? So that's the, we're gonna provide them the story IDs, which are these. So it's gonna have the IDs. It's gonna say, yeah, I found them. I found 3 of them. But then think it's gonna say. So we could not fetch, right? I think. Could not fetch details for item ID, and then we give it the ID, and then we give it the status 500. Yeah. Okay. So it's gonna say could not fetch details for item ID, and then it's gonna be 1000, right? And it's gonna say status 500. It's gonna say that for all of them, because obviously, right? And then it's gonna say no source found, right? Because it's gonna go, couldn't fetch the details, the progress bar is gonna advance, it's gonna say this because we don't care, then it's gonna be empty. It's gonna say no storage found. And then it's gonna fail. I think, right? Then this is still gonna be true, but this is gonna be sent item, and we're gonna expect it to be 1000.json, right? So we're gonna expect, yeah. We're gonna. One, two. We're gonna expect that it is gonna return these items, right? It's just these items are just not there. So these are. We get the error message, but we're still sending those requests. Yeah, I think this is gonna be it. So it's not failing. It's not failing for some reason. Does it fail? Should it fail? Let's walk through it. So we're getting the stories. It has stories now. It has IDs, even though they're not true. So it doesn't fail here. This is not empty. We get this line true. I actually want to turn this into a collection later on, but that's a refactor for later. So we get the progress bar. I think that works. The story response was successful because we got. Yeah. So the could not fetch details. This response is successful, but then when we try to get the actual content, it fails and it says it gives this message. Then it advances. Then we check if I don't care if this message. This is just to the console, like to the CLI. A lot. Also keep in mind, we're not hitting the API, right? These tests are not hitting the API. We're faking the... if you look at the test, we're faking the HTTP. That's why I provided the IDs here in the response. So I'm giving top story IDs. Like over here. But these are not real, right? We're not actually... When running the test, we're not actually hitting the outside. We're just testing the... it's fake storage, yeah. We're just testing if the... like for this, I don't think this is the Algolia official API. I think the rate limit is pretty high. But yeah, when we're doing this tests, this is like this is all in memory. Like the HTTP fake makes the request that the command is actually doing. It fakes that, so it's all in memory. We're not even hitting any endpoints outside of the test. We're not going. But if this happens, where you get IDs but you don't get content, which could happen theoretically, like we get IDs and they say it's 1, 2, 3, and then we go, well, give us the title, the type, the author, and the URL, and all those are empty, or just not there, right? It should go. Could not fetch details for this item, which is also the thing we're trying to test, right? That's this one. That's the situation we're trying to fake so we can test this line, that it actually does this. So when this happens, it should just fail. But it's not failing. That's why I'm trying to figure out. I think it's just my assertion. Because these all pass, these get sent. It's this line that isn't true. Could not fetch details, progress is finished. So if the stories are empty, if the stories are not empty, we display them in the terminal. Else we say no stories found, right? So no stories found. This one is also true. And then we success, right? So what we should actually do, let's go here. And fail. So if we found empty stories, we just fail. Which is true, because there's no stories, there's something going on. Let's see. Output does not contain found 3 story IDs. Well, what's the output then? Maybe we could just actually hit it. Found it. It's not found, it's found. Stuff like this matters. Typos matter. Charlie's just sleeping. Which is good because it's raining outside. And I don't want to go outside in the rain. I think this is the same thing. Let me... Good not fetch details. Wait. Yeah, it's raining a bit. It's like, it's not really raining. It's like, it's a giant mist of, like a slight mist of rain. It's like small droplets, right? Which, when you go out in it, you're just gonna get wet, even though it's not really raining. Does that make sense? I don't know the English word for it. Yeah. No, it's not mist. It's yeah, I love Silent Hill. Let's see what Google Translate says. Hold on. Silent Hill is such a great series, man. I'm kind of sad that they... Oh, drizzle. It's a drizzle. Yeah, it's drizzling outside. So that's... Yeah, they remade the second one as well. The second Silent Hill game is probably one of my favorite games of all time. But doing a remake of a game that was released in, what, 2006? Or something? And asking 70, nearly $80 for it, even though it's a remake with new graphics, is like, that's a level of scumbaggery that I can't support, man. So it's yeah, a drizzle, which means you're gonna be wet when you have to walk 4.5 hours outside of it, even though it's not really raining, right? So it's icky weather. It's the best way to describe it, I guess. Still not there. Well, yeah, it's one of the few games they have, but is it successing then? Is that what it's doing? Still, there's a way to milk it and there's a way to milk it, right? No, it's not a success. It's the... There's a way to do it correctly, and there's a way to do it scumbag, like you're a scumbag. And I think the way Konami's doing it right now with that IP is scumbagging. I can't in good conscience support those actions, man. I really tried to justify buying it, but I can't. Okay, so why is it not displaying? Ah. Because it's not actually displaying that. Yeah, they've always had a reputation of being kind of a scummy company. I really like Silent Hill though. So it's not. Why is it not? Yeah, I don't know. I've never been a big Metal Gear fan, to be honest. So I'm just not getting this else to display, right? So here's the story. Like it shouldn't have the title. So it shouldn't. It should display this. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I'm neutral on the series. I've played the first Metal Gear. I've played a couple of them. They're okay. Back in the day I liked Splinter Cell more. But it's like, I don't know. It's just not my type of game. Yeah, I'm neutral. Like, they're fun games, don't get me wrong, but it's like not something I get super excited about. Like, there's a new Metal Gear coming, yay! It's like, yeah, they're okay games, yeah. Hot take, I guess, but yeah, that's a good question. Why does this bother you? Like, I played Splinter Cell a lot, and I like the Hitman games a lot. It's Metal Gear, I've played the first one. I've played Metal Gear Rising. It's also a good game, but it's like they're fun, but they don't get me excited, right? Can I just do... this and then actually see what's in there? Yeah, true. Being neutral about something means that the game didn't invoke any emotions at all. Yeah, right. That's... with gaming, that's a rough subject, right? That's... you could play a game and just not be wowed or like, I absolutely fucking love this or I absolutely fucking hate this, right? You can be either of those, but you could also be in the middle like, it was an entertaining thing and I like playing it, but it's not, like the story didn't grab me and it's like, which is where I'm at with Metal Gear. If that makes sense. Is that a thing we can do? But I mean, I don't think it's dog shit. I also don't think it's the best thing since sliced bread. If that makes sense. Like, I just think it's an entertaining game, but that's about it. I could see myself wasting a couple of hours in it, for sure. Sliced bread is true. Very, very true. So it is an object. So I would assume I will be able to go output maybe? Sliced bread in general is very bad for you, Panda. Just saying. That's fine. I don't really prefer bread. Is it just that output doesn't exist? Nah, because we're or is it? Hey, I get that. I get both of you. I just don't. I don't. Also, I'm neutral on bread. I also don't think bread is good for you, but. I was gonna say, well, he is from the Middle East, so I mean, technically. So. I don't. You are from the Middle East and from and Dutch. I mean, you could be Aladdin, for all we know. Do you have a lamp and a genie? I mean, it's not an insult, man. I wish we had a flying carpet, man. I wish those things existed. That seems like so much fun. No, I said he is from the Middle East. So he could be Aladdin, technically. Speaking of getting stuff out of context and clipping it, right, Mason? It still doesn't make sense why this doesn't show up, by the way. That's actually bugging me. Oh, is it because... Aladdin isn't Indian. Aladdin is Middle Eastern. So what if we just simplify the message, right? What if the message is the ID is actually the problem, right? Yeah, I can imagine. It's not the message. See, so this should give a 200. This should give a 500. When we get the item. Then we run the command. We get 3 store IDs found. And then we try to fetch the stuff. Is this just not... Is this one just not true? Screw you, oh, man. And depending on which movie you're watching, like if you're watching the, why do I pan up? It's from 1001 Nights. It's the original story. Also, Mason. I knew this. I knew this. I knew this to be a thing. Why do you think I called you? Come on, man. I don't want to, like, disclose too much about Mason. He can do that himself. But there's a reason why I said he could be Aladdin. It's not what I'm saying, but sure. and run with it. The fact that it's Arabian Night Shift have really given away. You think? Yeah, so Mason is Syrian. I knew. That's why I said he could be Aladdin, because Aladdin is a tale from Syria. Like, come on. Okay, so we're just not hitting this then? Is that what you're telling me? We like Panda, at the office we usually say, ah man, it's also like it's only Monday, right? Even if it's not Monday, it's only Monday. We just blame everything on like the Monday morning brain, right? Yeah, so we're just not hitting that one. So that's what's going on. We're just not hitting this. So, can I go? Story? Yes, blame it on the day Monday, even if it's not Monday. Yeah. She's fishing for another treat. Anybody have another redeem for her? Alright, what does she have to do? What kind of trick? Wacht. Wacht. Wait. Wacht. Pak maar. Pak maar. It's a big giant cuddle bug. Oh. Okay. So for she wants to go outside, so I need to end the stream in like a couple of minutes. So let's see, right? Ah, this is not this is not the correct way to do it. Yes. Blame it on Monday brain. That's it, Panda. Now you're getting it. It's just Monday brain. Like permanent Monday brain. Yeah, yeah. Yep. Mmm. I think I made an error there. Yeah. Okay, so this is the... Exactly. Even if you had coffee, it wasn't enough coffee. You're totally right. Okay, so... we don't get a successful here. So I don't think this can ever happen. Because if it's not successful, yeah, if it's not successful, it's just not ever gonna get to the point where it's gonna fail on the, yeah. Like it will fail. It will skip this entire part. If it's not successful, it will skip this entire part. It will progress. This entire part will be skipped. Right? So if this is skipped, the progress bar advances and will come over here. We'll get the no source found because the source will be empty and it will fail. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So this test, yeah, this should be all the coverage we need. Let's see if we got it to 100% now. And then if this passes at 100%, I'm gonna go walk the dog. Hey Mason, you know where I'm? We'll see each other, right? In like, if I end the stream, it's gonna be like an hour. So if I'm ending in 5 minutes, it's gonna be at like 2-ish, and I'm back because I need to go downstairs, get some lunch, walk the dog, get her settled, and then come back. So it's about an hour. Yes. What are we missing? Oh, this part. Which shouldn't be true, right? Because we are testing that. No. Maybe not, but we could definitely test that with this part, right? Yeah, 99%. So what we're trying to do so let's say this generates a 500, which means this one fails, right? I expect this message to show up, and I expect Command will give the top stories. Will not give the top stories if they cannot be fetched. Give the top stories if they can be fetched. Because the API we're hitting could be down, right? Yeah. Ah, almost there. La 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 la. I actually see what it's. We'll see each other again in December at least, right? Invoke the command JSON code argument. JSON must be of type string. Array given. So we're fine. And we can see each other before that time if you really want to get rid of the coffee. Right? So it's just empty. There's no JSON response. I assumed it would... It's just 500. Okay. So... So we can't actually do that. We should still be in the green. Yes. See if the coverage is still 100%. You should have put it in your bag, man. Put it in your zakje. Well, we should be at 100%. Yep. This means if I go compose a test, we should be at 100. Yeah. I'll be back this afternoon. So if you want, you can come out and hang out even more. You know what I'm gonna do? I think I'm gonna get back over here. Nobody told me the scene wasn't switched. Damn it. Now we should be all green, right? Because what I actually fixed. Stare at this. No, but what I actually fixed is we now. I think this test is redundant, right? This test doesn't do anything. Because there's no options to give here. So this test can go. So if the stories can be fetched, we fake the HTTP. We fake the routes. Yeah, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. It's also my job, eh? But we fake the routes. And we give it 200, so it actually thinks it has the correct route, but we just don't return content. So then it should go, hey, fetching the top stories. We can't find anything because we're obviously not passing any stories, so it should fail. It should send us to this URL, and it should not send the URL for the items because there are no items there. Then if we invoke the command and the stories can be fetched, so if the API is down or anything, we'll give a 500. I think it's also good to make this into a 500, right? Like both should be down. We'll get a failed getting the top stories. It should. I think we can do the same here, right? This should be a 500 as well. Does this still pass? Still pass. Because of course it doesn't matter. Those routes never get sent, so they don't. We could actually. No, we need to fake them. Never mind. So if the API is down or for whatever reason we messed up the URL, it should show that we failed getting the top stories, and it should. This should be sent. That one shouldn't be sent. Then if we do get stories, but we don't get content, so we don't get actual items, it should say we found 3 because we passed 3 stories in the response here, 1000, 1001, 1002. But it should still say no stories found because we can't find any of the items. So no content is found. Then it should still send the top stories URL, but it should also send all the item URLs, even though they're empty, right? It should still send them. Now, with that all being tested, we're at 100% test coverage again. Now if we go over here, wait, something else broke. That seems kind of impossible. Oh, that test actually did. This test is actually to see if the if the command exists in. Now we should be back to 100%. Let's see if we're indeed back to 100%. We should be back to 100. Note to self, don't delete the test that actually checks if the test exists. Because then, or the command exists. So, the biggest question is, do I send you guys somewhere? % type coverage. Let's go. Like I could just end the stream and 100%. There we go. I think I'm just gonna end it and pick it back up But first, I'm gonna commit it to Git. Over to just chatting. Alright. I want to thank everybody for watching, for the bits, for the subs. Charlie is going to thank you guys for the treats. We'll be going Prime! Prime! Yeah, my Prime is until... my Prime's not yet. Let me quickly check. Because I'm Prime subbing to this channel, of course. But let me quickly check where my Prime's up. Yeah. With Amazon taking a bite and taxes taking a bite. So it's not as directly as you would want. 11th of July. So I still need to... Yeah, you're biting too. Like, and this money goes to the company account, so we're splitting it anyway. Anyways, 11th of July is my Prime. Then it's gonna be sub to here. Because I did it when this channel wasn't even affiliated. I'm gonna go walk the dog. I'm gonna end the stream for like an hour. Then I'm gonna be back, restart the stream. Also, now you're here, Antrax. Good. I'm gonna show you something. Because we have... let's get the top 1 hacker story, right? Let me show you. I have a command where you do it and you get the top 1, top 10 stories. I want the top 500 stories. And this is just crawling their API, right? I'm not saving the data yet. I'm just getting the data. And when I restart the stream this afternoon, we're going to figure out what we're saving in which database, where we're going to put it. So I can basically crawl their API, get all the top stories. For now, it's tied up between... what I was thinking about doing is getting... Like, there's top hacker news stories, there's news, and there's the best stories. And best is probably all time. Top is like... current top, and news is like what's new. I was thinking about creating 3 different console commands for like all the endpoints, and then we can schedule them. Like we could get the top stories once a day, get the news every hour, and get the best stories like once a month or something, right? We could, instead of creating one command that is super complex that has to figure out which one you want to get, I'm just gonna do 3 console commands so we can cron them separately and test them separately. Makes it easier. So that's what I'm up to now. When we resume the stream, I'm gonna be doing the other 2 commands and the other 2 tests for the other endpoints, and then we'll figure out where this is gonna be saved and stuff. Okay, so for now, like I said, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for the treats, the subs, the bits, and I'll be back in like an hour or something. Right. See you guys in an hour, I hope.